Collective channeled message. Please only take what resonates. Leave the rest for the best. No matter stress. Anybody coming into here? Coming here for a reason. Something must be catching your eye. Somebody must be able to tell you. There must be a message for you. So if you're coming in here, there's a message. Someone wants to let you know. They're in that love me forever mode. They're in some mighty Vikings, some old school songs. So this is somebody who's listening to some old school music. They're in their thoughts, they're in their mind, they're looking at their heart, they're thinking about you. You could be their comfort, you could be their stability, they could be having stress, they could be having conflict, they could be looking and now getting some spiritual wisdom in regards to who you are, wanting to take leadership, to be able to speak these things towards you, because they're identifying now. They're gaining control. They're gaining that willpower. That must be some backside determination. This divine masculine is trying to gain some leadership. They're looking at their structures. They're being protective. They can see you're creative. They're trying to use their intuitions. They see you're brave and they want to be able to come. They could be being stubborn in regards to these relationships. Take it all as it resonates. They're saying, kiss me once, girl. Kiss me twice. You like sugar and spice, girl. And everything nice, girl. They say, love me forever and I'll be true to you, girl, because you are an angel and so divine. Yes, you are an angel and you're mine, all mine. So they're in their thoughts and they're thinking, oh my gosh, how can I communicate these things now? Because they can see you're their lover. They want to be able to come. They want to be able to gain this confidence because they're compassionate. They're in their emotions. They're getting sentimental right now. They're saying, love me forever and I'll be true to you, girl. So they're looking at you. They want to be able to come now because they're looking at their structures, their habits, they're in their emotions. They're looking at you. They want to be creative and come and speak these to you because they're saying, angel of mercy, fly down low. You are the one I'm dreaming of. Treat me right and I'll treat me good. Now make me do just like I should. So they want to be able to get in that positive energy, to be able to come and speak these words to you because they're looking at their firm foundations. They're within their heart. They're looking now because you are an angel and so divine. Yes, you are an angel and you are all mine. So they want to be able to come and let you know. I'm in my thoughts, I'm in my feelings. Now I'm looking at my emotions, my firm foundations. I'm thinking about you. I want to come and speak these words of love because I'm gaining wisdom. I'm going to be able to come and give you balance and fairness. They're coming because they're looking and they're gaining that enlightenment in regards to you because now they see that you're gaining this service. They're gaining that insight into spirituality. They're contemplating about these marriages, these contracts, these relationships that they've had with others as well as yourself. So now they wanted to be able to come and speak this towards you because they're gaining that enlightenment. There is no separation. We recognize that we are one with the divine. So they're one with you. They're one with their heart. They're connecting towards you now. They're looking and they're gaining that Libra energy. They wanted to be able to come because they're looking at justice. You could be looking at justice and you could be defending yourself and they could be being indecisive about these adventures that they took and moved with because now they're looking, they can see you're sincere. They want to be able to come and take this action towards you because they can see you're using your intuitions, you're connected to your emotions. Now they're looking and using their intuitions because they need healing. They may need cleansing because they're getting enlightenment. You need to let go. They may need to let go. Take it all as it resonates. Sometimes it's best to be able to let go and the universe works out things. So now they're looking to be able to let go so the universe can work out things because they're saying, you're my angel. And they want you forever. They're asking now to be able to put mercy to fly down low on them. So they are looking because they're dreaming of you. They want to be able to treat you right. So they need to be able to treat them good. So they want to be able to treat you right because they need to be able to get treated good. So they need that enlightenment because they're coming now because they're connected to their soul. And when you connect to your soul, 4 is about your heart. That's about your foundations. That's about your emotions. That's you taking that leadership, looking at your structures. And that's through looking at from them temptations. From that they was having with these contracts and these partnerships and these shared interpersonal styles. So they could be coming to speak these things towards you. Take it all as it resonates. If you tap, then I can change because they're in their heart. They want to be able to speak these things towards you because 7 is your relationship. 5, they're having stress because everyone's in their ego. 3, 2 is that balance about yourself. How are you going to move forward to these partnerships? Are you using your intuitions? Are you in your emotions? Take it all as it resonates, because they're seeing that you're like sugar and spice. You're everything nice. You're that good, you're the bad. Being able to see their good and bad, and that was that test. They're identifying about the tests, and the strength and the weaknesses are being tested. So they're now saying, you're sugar and spice, you're everything nice. They're needing mercy now. Treat me right and treat me good. Now make me do like I should. So now they're in their thoughts. How can I take? Because they're looking at that Cupid, because that's a part of their heart. And they want to be able to come and give this towards you, because they're gaining this enlightenment. Because that's receptive. You could feel this. So be ready to be able to receive what fate has planned for you. So everything nice, girl. You're like sugar and spice, girl. Said kiss me once and kiss me twice. Love me forever and I'll be true to you, girl. They're letting go of any heartache, hurt and pain, any relationships, any two-faced people that they've had around them in that Gemini energy. Because they wanted to be able to come and rekindle now. Because they're gaining that structure. They're gaining creativity. They can see you're creative and you're expressing certain things, because every relationship has a magical moment that can be rekindled. So they want to be able to rekindle, because you're that angel. You're so divine. Now they're seeing that that was that test. Oh, shiznizzle. Sorry, because it's merely gone so far down. Now they want to be able to rejoice, because they're seeing that test. They want to be able to come and embrace. They can see you're rejoicing, you're giving a service, you're supporting, you're enabling, you're moving, you're communicating, you're expanding, you're that lover. They're looking at the choices that you had. They want to be able to come and give you harmony, because now they're looking to be able to travel towards you, because they're identifying, they're gaining that inner strength from being in that underworld of having these shared finances, taxes, loans and inheritance, certain assets. They may be wanting to be able to come and share these things with you. Take it all as it resonates. Hi, Miss UK. Take it all as it resonates. If you tap, then the numbers change, because these people are in low dense energies. They was in idealistic approaches. Now they're identifying in those, they're gaining that wisdom into who you are. They're in that Sagittarius energy. You could be. Take it all as it resonates. You're being steadfast. You're organized. You have to be open-minded and be flexible, because they're trying to be open-minded and flexible about these people. They're having their social awareness of you now, because they're looking at their social awareness, the public, where they were, people they surrounded as their self with, when they was having these shared intimacies in these relationships, in that low dense energy. Take it all as it resonates, because they can see that they was driven through jealousy, and they was doing certain things through idealistic approaches. 82, that's about money, underworld, lust. They was doing certain things because people was watching their material possessions, and that's now looking at the connection. They're feeling deeply connected towards you, so they can now look in, and they're looking at that connection, because they're getting that receptiveness. They want to be able to let go, rekindle, because they're looking now deeply within inside of their self, and they're discovering their heart, because that's that enlightenment. Thank you. That's that true trust and that faith, because when you get connected to your heart and you get connected to your soul, that's your heart, and you want to be able to let go of certain things that you're holding on to, because you know about Cupid. Yep, certain boundaries had to get put into place. Let's see what the boundaries were, because they're having sustainable boundaries, and it was important, because that was that yin and your yang. That's that balance. You are the light, there's a dark. Yes, you can. Take it up. Yes, you can. This is supposed to be you're in somebody's thoughts. They're in your thoughts. Because they're gaining enlightenment now. Because kiss me once, kiss me twice, girl. Your sugar and spice, girl. Everything nice, girl. There's some boundaries, some blocks. Love me forever and I'll be true to you, girl. They're just asking that angel, because they see you're that angel of divine. They're gaining mercy to be able to fly down low, because you are the one and I'm dreaming of you. So now they're looking at this relationship now, because they're gaining enlightenment. They're looking at the diplomatically now, the approaches. They was doing certain things in those shared assets and the partnerships and the styles that they were sharing with other people, even towards you, because they can see that you're moving with love and pleasure. They maybe want to be able to take control, to be able to travel towards you. They're gaining willpower. They go on trying to gain structure and balance, because they can see you're fair-minded, you're moving, because they need to be able to give you justice. And that's about the relationships, to be able to get a fair deal. So they're having that enlightenment. You've got that enlightenment, because that's that personal power. You let go, you obtained your personal power. You see, when these people was driven by idealistic approaches, they had certain people holding on to them because it was jealousy, and those relationships that they was having, they're having this social awareness of you. You had that social awareness of them and those friends and those groups and those people that they put themselves around. This masculine energy, they was trying to do certain things for fame. They went for that underworld, because now they're having that little hangman position because they had to sacrifice, and now they've got to be able to let go of certain people. That's that pause. You had to pause. You had to look and gain introspection. You had to gain wisdom, and you had to get the guidance from the divine. You had to go into hermit in the 9, and you just went higher and higher, getting that higher education because you seen about those contracts. You let go because you knew about the tests of when people are in that low dense energy and giving you stress and conflict to get you in your mind, and it's all family and friends that are closest towards you and doing certain things because they thought they was being wise, being playful, because they thought they was going to get a goal. They thought they was organised and steadfast, but they didn't realise you was cautious in regards to these people, places and things. 308 that they tried to get you in your mind and in your thoughts and in your feelings to make you feel stressed. That could have been a Gemini energy, communicating, speaking to other people in that low dense energy 8, because when you're in that 8, that's that Pluto, you're in that underworld. You're doing certain things for lust, pride, greed, sinful ways. 6, they can see they was thinking that they was delivering a service. You was providing a service and enabling people. 7, giving them insight about 8, those people in their low dense energy. They don't know how to conduct themselves. They didn't have no moral compass. They didn't have inner standing. They wasn't moving with love and compassion. They was moving with that low dense energy 8. So when you're moving with that 8 energy, idealistic approaches, driven through jealousy, greed, money, lust, pride, inheritances, tax, loans, then you've got to gain inner standing. That's when you're in the wilderness and you don't know where you are, and you've got to go into hermit because now you've got to look and you have to ask the Most High God for this guidance as to why those people came. So you have to gain that inner standing, you have to gain that willpower, you have to you have that motivation, get out of your mind, start having stress and start having conflict. When you're trying to manifest certain things, manifest the own things that you've got. Identify the things that you're having. Identify the way how you're moving and you're putting yourself out there. Are you trying to be wise? Are you being two-faced? Are you being eccentric and playful? Because when you're eccentric and playful, you're enabled to be able to go towards your goals. Because 8, are you being idealistic? Are you driven through jealousy or vindictiveness? Or are you just clinging on to certain things? Think about as to why you're wanting things, when you're wanting things. Are you being optimistic? Are you being versatile? Or you're being tactless and lazy as to when you're wanting these things? Because certain people being tactless and lazy, so they're asking and wanting and needing, but then you're being tactless and lazy because you're looking at these assets and these shared personal styles. Could have been about the resources. How are you gaining those resources? Because you're going to be stressed and conflict within your mind, and that's a part of the test. Because it's your vision, how you're seeing things within the world, because they're seeing and looking at those physical things. You looked at the spiritual things. You went higher. You seen those karmics and the way how they was ending in certain closures because of their attitude. You went into solitude. You went into introspection. You gained that hangman position because you had to let go. You seen that pause. You seen the test. You gained that new perspective from those people who was in that old age and the way they did things and the hidden approaches towards their life and your life and those things that was limiting you and those belies because that was the illusions. You just had that spiritual connection. 7, you was highly connected to the divine. So when you get connected to the divine, you're able to manifest and create the things that you're able to manifest and create. You don't have to ask because you know you're going to put that hard work in. But if you put it in that bad energy, you're not going to get it. If you're stuck in your mind, your thoughts and your feelings, and you're working with other people not to be creative, and you're not being your own true empress self, being creative and knowing that your fertility to be able to express and create and manifest the things that you're needing to get out of that low dense energy in the underworld for obsessing, you're unable to gain the wisdom to be able to get that inner standing because that's how your structure, your goals, how your reputation in public and your image. You have to get into that masculine and feminine energy because it's your life force, it's your purpose. Are you doing it in a good way? Serving others, providing, or are you slamming up certain things and causing stress and conflict and giving people insight to make them have to identify and recognize and use an unconventional way? Because when you're in Aquarius, you have to be inventive. You have to use your intelligence. You have to be eccentric. Don't be flighty and detached. Because you have to gain your intelligence to gain that knowledge and communicate effectively to be able to get certain things because you know the test when you're having these tests in regards to your relationships. Because they have a lot of explaining to be able to do towards you. So certain people have got an explaining to do. You're out there providing and serving and explaining these things towards people when they're in their relationships and the way they're moving with their love affairs and the way they're feeling fertility and like they're being childlike in that childlike spirit, causing stress and conflict towards other people or even yourself when they're feeling they've got a sense of usefulness and you got to protect yourself from these people. Be creative, be faithful for yourself and practical, because these people are thinking that they're practical and anxious and critical at the same time. Take it all as it resonates because of your goals and your day-to-day reality. So now they're receptive because they're now asking for the mercy to fly down on them, because they're looking now, they're dreaming of you. They can see kiss me once, kiss me twice, sugar and spice. They see that sugar and spice, the receptiveness. They're gaining that enlightenment because they want to be able to rekindle now, because they're looking at the goals. They're looking at that Capricorn energy. They're steadfast. They're looking at their insecure ways with how they was attached. This could be a Leo. Trying to now gain that leadership because they're looking at that life force and the vitality. They're in the Hierophant now because they're gaining that wisdom. They see that you've got that wisdom. You're full of leadership. You're using your intuitions, and now they're in their mind because they see that creativeness and do what you want and to be able to keep on moving forward. So now they're doing what they want, and they're looking at those relationships and the stress, but they've got the root conflict and the instability. Now they're trying to be brave and protective because they can see that they was being stubborn and vain. You may have been stubborn and vain. Take it all as it resonates, because you have to protect yourself now, create yourself and be intuitive. That's the purifications to be able to resurrect now. That's the secrets of when they're in their low dense energy. So now they're rejoicing because they're seeing and letting go of those personal interstyles, what they had with other people, those shared assets, those relationships. And now they're identifying their self because they're gaining that inner strength. They're looking at certain things from a different perspective. And they're looking now with precision to be able to move because they put boundaries in place, and that's from that connection. Now they're looking and identifying because they want to be able to come towards you. They just don't want to give any more. Let's put that down. Why? What was they doing? This courtship. So they're ending this courtship. They're looking at those roots, those foundations that they was courtshipping with now. They're trying to get this leadership now and this full power because they're seeing people was thieving and trying to rob their money, their material assets, their possessions. This could have been a property. This could have been somebody that was within them. They was wanting these foundations. This relationship, this partner was wanting these foundations. Now they're trying to be able to gain this leadership and this willpower because they're looking at their structures. Certain people was trying to be creative and use their emotions to hold certain people down within a service. They could be wanting to journey from these people. Take it all as it resonates. They're going to let you know some people was putting some hard work in for some sudden wealth. This could have been this feminine energy. It was in this childlike spirit causing stress and drama. They could have been moving like that. Now they're identifying. They're traveling because they can see that you're eye honor. They're gaining wisdom. They're gaining understanding. You could be that feminine energy. They could be just getting in that feminine energy to be able to use their emotions to be able to come and speak these things towards you because they're gaining that wisdom. 7 is about your relationships. About this false female, false masculine. Take it all as it resonates. Was doing certain things and they was having interpersonal styles with them. They could have thought they was eye honor. They've got to have this boundary in place from them because they was bad elf. They was causing stress and conflict and instability towards these divine feminines, masculines yourself. Take it all as it resonates because they was trying to block your firm foundations. They was trying to stop this all due to money, finances and assets. Now these divine feminines, masculines want to be able to journey because they're getting that enlightenment, because they're now looking, because they're healing their heart and they're healing her heart from heartbreak from toxic, I can't even get it out, toxicating or addictions and abusive relationships from this courtship, because they're seeing that clock needing time, cycles and times, time to heal and progressing from these people that tried to rob them. So they're looking now because of wedding rings. They could be telling you about this marriage. They could have caught somebody else. So all as it resonates. Don't want to tell you what's journeying. Wow. Now they're having poker face, taking a chance and risks and options, not showing their hands, gambling. Now they're running from these feminines. They're within their hearts, they're in their minds. They're gaining that power. They're coming to express certain things towards you. Take it all as it resonates. They're trying to be wise because they see you're in eye honor. They're maybe coming towards you for this union and marriage. They're letting you know about this soul connection and this everlasting love, because sugar and spice, girl, everything nice, girl, said kiss me once, kiss me twice, love me forever and I'll be true to you, girl, because you're that angel of the divine. What they're going to come and tell you about this false person. Oh gosh, they need to make healthy choices. They tried to engage, they thought they was on some union. They're trying to make some healthy choices from not too many. Because now they're seeing that sword and they're coming to tell you about this and not today. They're feeling hurt and the boundaries from this false person. Take it all as it resonates. You could be feeling this hurt and this boundaries. They're coming because they're going to tell you about this person in disguise. They could be moving in disguise because they're looking at their heart. They're gaining this wisdom. They want to move forward because they're looking at this woman, this foundations. They're in their emotions, expressing stress. This could be a Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Aries. Some elements of this relationship is hidden. So they're going to let you know about this relationship, this person who was in disguise, they was caught in. They're healing from them because certain things was hidden, what they was doing. And then they're saying you are worthy. The clock's timing. They needed time to change because that was cycles and takes time to be able to heal from those cycles. And then you are worthy from this. Certain people was in disguise. They've got some burning desires to travel towards you. And now they're looking up because they was taking this risk, because they're having this poker face. They're identifying and recognizing you're that one of high honor. They want to be able to ignite that flame because they're falling in love. You could be falling in love. And they want to be able to come towards you and give this ready ring because they're telling you about their natural evolution for that growth. And let the situation unfold naturally. They could be listening to their spiritual guides and their ancestors now because the love language gift is given, and certain people was trying to be able to gain certain money, certain assets. They can see they was trying to give a service in regards to your relationships, and they can see that you're providing a service, enabling, speaking, helping, enabling people to be able to move forward, gain that balance in regards to your heart, your relationships, because certain people was out there trying to be able to manifest and had hidden things, trying to gain of your relationships. This is your money, your foundations. They was trying to act like they was that true divine feminine energy. They was that true karmic energy. You had to gain that wisdom. You had to gain introspection, that inner power, that inner standing, because you seen certain people was persistent. They was courageous. They thought that they was using their intuitions, and when they was divine, you used yours. You looked at the way your property, your material assets, your income, your daily routines in regards to these relationships. Now these divine masculines, feminines, they're looking at their relationships, what they upholded with you, how they're having stress. And certain people was expressing drama and trying to do certain things playful with those affairs that they was having. They're having that awareness because certain people was being courageous, persistent, and trying to be that Jezebel spirit, but trying to be a magician, trying to be a kitchen witch to uphold your divine masculine, feminine, P-U-S-S-Y, power, upholding, tacticless, losses. Now they're having endings. They've got to have this change, to have this rebirth, because that's that understanding, that's that world. There's the completions, fulfillments. They're cutting down. Because everything nice, girl. Sugar and spice, girl. Listen to the song, guys. It says, love me forever, the mighty kings. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. Your sugar and spice, everything nice. Love me forever and I'll be true to you. They're seeing that test that you upholded. They're having this stress and conflict in the distant horizons. You're going to hear about this. They want to be able to travel towards you, come and communicate, because they're in their mind, they're thinking. They can see that you're that true empress. You've got creativity, you're expressing, you're out there delivering a service. This is your lover. They will be wanting to come and speak these things because they're now identifying, they're connecting to their heart, and they want to be able to come and give you love. They want to come and give you pleasure. They may want to come and give you a gift. Hi, Babs. Take it all as it resonates. Leave the rest for the best. Don't stress, because they want to let you know that certain people was persistent. They was trying to rock me. And now I'm looking at these partnerships that I upholded with. And I can see you're sincere. Certain people was just looking and trying to take certain things. I'm looking at the shared interpersonal styles that are upholded with people. And the way you're moving in your job and your work ethic. Take it all as it resonates. Because they're having stress. They're studying you. You could be studying them. Let's see what the telepathic message is. Oh. The values. They didn't have no values. They didn't have no moral values, like moral compass, like love, compassion, joy, peace. Don't do to others that you don't do to yourself, because now they're looking at their heart. They're gaining that insight. That's that spiritual connection. So when you gain that spiritual connection, you know how to do that. You know how to do ebb and flow. Don't do to others that you don't want to backside be done to yourself, because that's that commitment. And that's when you have a commitment with certain people, and it's an important factor of you building that successful relationship. So you don't do to others what they do to you. You just identify, you gain that wisdom, you took your action, you said, towards in the bucket, if it. Okay, you want to be in that low dense energy. I'm raising my frequency. I'm raising my vibration. I'm keeping it moving. They wanted you to be unfair. Well, they was being unfair towards you, but you had balance. You was defending yourself because you know about justice, and justice will prevail. So those people who thought that they was just trying to do worse, had evilness and controlling and trying to control your relationships, your partnerships through lust, pride and greed, because there was a succubus Jezebel spirit trying to watch you and your appearance, and they were trying to be like you, but they couldn't be like you. So now they're identifying when they look at you and your first impressions and how you move and the way how you act, and you've got that perception, and you know how you've got that power and that inner power, that strength, that's courage, that's you upholding that. Because you gained wisdom, you started growing, you was optimistic, you had morals, and you was versatile out here in these streets. Certain people need to get to know. I keep telling you guys, your adults out here, grow up, go on better, because it's a part of the universe and it's guiding you towards that special someone, yourself, your own thoughts, your own feelings before you can try and give it to somebody else, because it's a part of the world. It's about accomplishments for your own self, your wholeness, to be a better bitch out here in these streets. Because when you're a little Jezebel spirit and you're trying to take people's relationships and you're moving with lust because you agree, because you're watching money, possessions, materialistic, your life, you don't know how certain people got certain things. And when you're trying to be that Jezebel and you're trying to manifest through hidden powers, you don't realise what other hidden powers certain people have got. Love is for the way you look at me, so they can't even look you in that face, baby. So they got to have that poker face, you get it? So they want to come towards you and travel, because they've got to gain that balance. Because when you get balance and you connect to your heart, that's unity. And that's you using your intuitions. And then you use your intuition, start using your emotions. And when you start using your emotions, you look at the way how you're moving and what you value. And they see your beauty, they see you're pleasurable. And that's because you're alluring. Thank you, Chelsea. That's because you're alluring. And they know, and they're identifying as to who you are, because they're considering the situation carefully now. And now they're looking, because they're the shit that they picked up in that low dense energy. 9, they're gaining that wisdom. They're growing. They're cleansing. They're moving away from them deadly sins. Hi, good evening, Jodie. Because, oh yes, trust your intuitions, guys. Do you get it? Trust, because you've got that clarity, and that's from the divine. And yeah, you had to cut out, separate from them, because you had to get 2 and 7 connected to your heart, because you was creative. You seen people trying to be creative over you. You seen what they was depending on, but you had to depend on your ass and have that powerful self within your house and your ass, because you had to know thyself. And when you know thyself, you're not going for loss, money, pride and greed and joy and stuff. You're out there delivering a service. You're not no Jezebel spreading out your legs, cocking out your batty and doing certain things that you shouldn't be doing. You're supposed to know yourself. You don't sit down, chat shit, trying to give service to other people. That's not a service. So they got free in the stress and the conflict within the mind. And you're working with other people for lust, pride and greed. Know thyself. So now they're in their thoughts, they're in their feelings. Just like you was in your thoughts and your feelings, right? Right. Now they're getting tested, right? Right. You got tested, right? Right. You know what was happening, right? They tried to make you have despair, right? You seen how people was moving for your money in your relationships, because when you was moving in, you was intelligent and you was connected to your emotions. And you seen how people was moving for materialistic possessions and shit and causing stress about these relationships. You says, all right, Anne, you're a bit of bitch, you're a dickhead, you're an idiot, let's move on. I'm gaining my justice, I'm going to defend myself because you're indecisive. Because you're moving sideways right now. So you just move sideways, and you know in the distant horizon, you'd have to move and start speaking, gain your knowledge, gain your wisdom to be able to understand, because you're versatile. You're not lazy. You wasn't tactless. You enabled yourself because you stabled yourself, because you knew that people's trying to cause you stress so you couldn't move nowhere and keep moving forward. They was trying to do hidden powers on you. Are they dumb? So when you was waking up in the morning and you couldn't move, you knew what these people was doing. You had that bright light. It says, the Most High see, oh, get collective. All right, come on, let's keep on moving about these people in that low dense energy trying to stop you lot. It says, no, we've got that clarity, right? But because you're alluring and really they're secretly watching you, analysing you, communicating about you with other people, even your family members, and these are people that are closest to you. That's the saddest thing about it. Because the bitter bitches, you get it, there wasn't wise and the restless and the two-faced. Because you're out there and you're providing and you're giving a service. And you know that's your commitment. Because when you're delivering a service to other people, you know you're enabling and supporting and providing. And meanwhile, people just getting your voicemail when there's no reason that they shouldn't be getting your voicemail, but they'll be getting your voicemail. Because it's the values. They didn't value you, so sometimes you have to put them on block and delete and not value them. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because it's a part of the universe. And it was a part of the universal alignment. Why? Because people was chatting shit in regards to you and the way how you're moving and your power and the way how your creativity and the way how you express yourself with a pleasure. They didn't like that. They wanted to control you because that was their actions, the way how they took and the way how they moved. But they didn't realise you had your own determination. You were just connected to the spiritual guides and the ancestors. Because they said, fair, fair. You said, fair. I want to fuck them up. They said, no, man, we can't do this. Be sincere, sincere. You said, yeah. All right, and right, because these people are trying to get you in the mind. They're trying to stop you because you're growing. You're being optimistic. You're versatile. Remember, moral compass, moral compass. All right, and mind you, said let's use with the universe because this is a school where you're connecting to the divine. All right, and so you're connected to the divine. You got your clarity. You kept on moving forward, even when it was hard. Yeah, you were stressed. Yeah, you cursed, but you had to heal your heart. You had to marry yourself. You connected to the left and the right side of your brain. You had that stability for. You gained your balance. You took your authority. You got in your masculine energy too, because we're better bitches out here, right, guys? And we know we don't move sideways on one energy, we move on two. Because that was that yin and that yang. You had to have that balance. Because that was that flame. And that was controlling you from the aspects, from different aspects. So you had to look at it from different perspectives, right, guys? Because that's you nine gaining optimism and that's you gaining inner standing. So then we had to do a Buddhist, and 2-2s were flipping junglist, 2-2s were a bashment queen, 2-2s were R&B, 2-2s were on some next shit. Oh my gosh, we're in carnival, all right? Because we had to get it. Because people got this social awareness of you, you know, because your reputation up in public, 10. They're watching you. So you just went, you looked at your structure, you gained your wisdom, you went for your ambitions, kept on moving forward. You knew about your heart. You knew about your firm foundations. You knew about them low dense energy, succubus, Jezebel spirits. You knew time was needed for those cycles. For them to even get better bitches. For them to gain inner standing. For them to be able to overstand the bullshit. Because you just seen the poker faces that they was holding. Because what they was putting out and calling you a fucking bitch. And you're this and that. There was 3 pointing back at them. They forgot about that. It's just cut down. You separated. You thought you're an idiot. Go on better. Let me evolve out here in these streets. Because I'm going to start falling in love with myself. I've got that building desire for the spirit. Because I am worthy. And if you don't see my worth, here's what, I'm going to be like Cinder Bomber Clark Rella towards you too. So, you just stayed there being Cinderella. You gained your power, you gained your structure, you looked at your emotions, you seen the habits, your security, your firm foundations. You took your freaking action, you doubled that shit up and went 8, 4, 4. You said your spiritual guides, ancestors, Ashe, let's keep moving. Alright, who are you? They thought you was false. They didn't realise you was high honor. You journeyed with knowledge, you get me, Emma, thank you. Because certain people thought you was a fool that was trying to rob your skills and your abilities. In your relationship, sorry, I'm going to cough. Well, they didn't know who you were. Because when you're having these relationships with people, you got that spiritual wisdom. Because you're the spiritual leader. Remember, there's one leading the other. One blind leads the flipping fake. So you was bleeding the blind, and then one the masculine or the feminine was blind. You was the woke one. They was the blind one. Because that was about the connections. You was deeply understanding. You had to keep going outside and saying, Lord God, am I feeling this for real? Yeah, and then you're feeling the Cupid's arrow because every minute you're feeling it within your heart. And it was ricocheting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You had to put the boundaries. You had to work why, and then you had to rejoice with yourself because you're thinking, yeah, I feel good today. Next day, you're rekindling back with your heart again, and you're thinking, Ross Clark, this man's this feminine, is connected to me. I'm feeling that reception. Is this a test? What's going on? Because I'm ongoing, and I've got to look at tarot. I've got to look at my stability. I've seen I'm outgoing. I've got to be self-assured. I'm adventurous. I'm passionate. I'm self-reliant. I see these people stubborn and they was trying to be resourceful over me. Yeah, you kept on moving because you had to let go, let it pass. And let it be. Because you see in that relationship, you had to have harmony within yourself. You see, when they was communicating and working alongside other people, you had to communicate with your mind, your body, and your spirit. You had to look at yourself, your habits. You had to gain that wisdom. You had to be optimistic. You had to start expanding and moving with yourself, because you had to look at these certain people that was trying to cause you stress. Even you had stress within your mind at certain times, because the way how you was moving and then looking at these things, because people was trying to be creative over you. But you had to get creative because you had that enlightenment. You just knew of thyself. So you had to look at the visions, because these people's in that low dense energy. You had to gain inner standing to be able to overstand, look at your social aspects. You had to use your intelligence when these people was doing certain things with a life force. You had to look at your life force. You had to keep on moving forward. You had to gain that inner standing, because certain people was being vindictive. You see when they was clinging and holding on to certain things, because they weren't clinging and holding on towards you. And you had to keep on moving forward, because they tried to make you feel insecure when they was feeling detaching. And you seen those parts in your relationship. They weren't being sincere. They was being objective and indecisive in regards to your relationships. You had to identify this. And now they're looking, because they're identifying you. From that kiss me once girl, kiss me twice girl, you sugar and spice girl, everything nice girl, love me forever. And now they want to be able to be true towards you. Take it all as it resonates, because they're having stress, right? They're in that underworld about these partners and these people that they put themselves around. So take it all as it resonates. Just remember, when you read the basic book of information and the basic book of knowledge in the Bible, people did wrong. They were sinned. They didn't want to follow the Most High God, right? And then Tutus, they looked at their disobedience and their obedience, because they was doing certain things for lust and sin when they went to Egypt. Then they got to go to the river Nile, because now they're lamenting. And they're looking about the people that they was with when they was in Babylon, and they wanted to run and get exiled from Babylon, because Babylon now is that stress for the land of sin of the people who they was delivering a service to. That they thought they was being practical, but now they're analysing now, because they see that you're gentle and you're loyal, and that love that you uphold. They didn't give you that justice. Now 7, they got to come and give you your backside justice, babes. Alright? Because they was just doing certain things. They just need to be able to get a little control, take action, okay, to be able to come towards you. Because they're feeding you, they're having stress, but they can't really come and tell you that, look, my nose is itching. Can't come and tell you they're having stress and conflict, right? They can't come and tell you about these people that they have these shared relationships with. I was being stubborn, I was being controlling, and now I'm in it now, because now I'm in stress, and I've got to take leadership of these situations, because I picked ish. And when I pick that ish is just stuck to me like a freaking leech, and it's not going to move. And it's all about shared interpersonal assets, loans, joint ventures. And I've got to make these assets and loans, and I've got to look now, because I need some justice. And they don't know be able to come to you, because they haven't got that full justice. So now they're looking, because that's the ending now. They've got to make that change to have that balance, to be able to come and give you that balance. But they can't give you that balance, because those illusions that was put in place and the confusions, they've got to have that death. So when someone's having a death, and you're thinking, when you see certain people and you see people that look good, right, and their reputation that they're upholding public, then they're back in that 8 year, because they're in that underworld, they're in that lust, that greed, that pride. You think, yo, what happened to my man? What, how comes my girl looks like that? They look like shit. They look like shit because 2 and 7, 2 and 5, that's about the relationship. Someone's causing them stress about their money, the conflict. They don't got that money because the habits and the daily routines where they was able to be able to move. Someone's restricted them. They haven't got that no more. They can't move forward towards you. They can't even travel. They can't even expand. They can't even come and tell you these things, because certain people are controlling them, and they don't even have to be able to control themselves, and they're not even be able to use their emotions. And then some people aren't emotionally upright, so they can't even connect, and they're more in their mind, and they're more preferred to be in their mind and chat shit to other people about you, because you're protecting yourself, because they was trying to control you and stop you, but make you still be in a relationship while they're still doing certain things, because they was trying to be wise. And it's certain people that knew it as well. Think about it. Half the time when certain people having relationships and lie and cheat, the people know you because they know about your structures, they know about your roots. But now they're looking at their structure and their roots, they've got to get connected. Because when you pick and pick till you pick shit, it starts bubbling up inside of you. And you gain that wisdom. You get me? And you know when you get hot and you got shit that's hot and it's coming, it stinks, you get me? The smell's not going. So they have stress, they have conflict, they have instability, they can't move forward. They want to be able to take this action, but then they're looking at the foundations aren't so good. And they're in their mind, they're in their thoughts, and thinking, oh my gosh, how can I gain this balance? Because they're not fair-minded. So when they're looking in that, because it was all for money, pride, lust and greed, giving services. Service to who? Not a service to yourself. And now they're looking now because they're looking at the relationships, because they thought they was trying to be that, use the intuitions and use the emotions, but they didn't use the intuitions and emotions in the correct way, because they was trying to take it and do it for power and control. And all that does is cause you stress and conflict, and makes you have to go inwards to be able to get that spiritual wisdom. So it makes you have to go into the Hierophant. And when you're in that Hierophant, you got to shine that light, or the spiritual leader or the Most High God's got to give you that box in your neck back, 5-5, for that left and that right side of that brain, to let you know you're a dirty little rascal. You weren't moving right. You was doing adultery. You weren't obedient. You was disobedient. You didn't have justice. You didn't have no balance. Was you looking at your mind? Remember, you guys, I keep telling y'all, everyone's done touch 40. You should be on this channel. Big 30s, 40s. Now you're going to be halfway to 100. Look at the lifestyle that you live in. How much are you stressing in your mind? Are you still getting stressed in your big age? Because why are you in that low dense energy? 8 of your conflict, stress, lust, greed, vindictive, jealousy, clinger. You need to get into the 9, gain the wisdom. Be optimistic out here in these streets. Keep questioning yourself why you keep going around that dry cycle. Why? 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 What are you looking for? You're in the same shit.